Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. You guys really seem to love the makeup tutorials and story time, so I thought I'd be back again with another one. This time really interesting but a little traumatic, but I hope you guys enjoy. So as usual, I'm starting off with my beautiful bare-faced model. This is Ndenya. She has beautiful skin, amazing melanin, like beautiful features, like her cheekbones are everything, and yani her skin was just a dream to work with. I started off with some Garnier water, micellar water, and a wet wipe, just cleaning off the excess, and then I did go in with a moisturizer. Usually sometimes I do like to go in, do eyes first without touching the skin, and then go later on to the skin, but because this look didn't require eyeshadow that had a lot of fallout, I thought I would just start prepping the skin so that by the time I was coming to do my base, my foundation, concealer, etc., it was already nice and plump and ready for the application. I then went ahead and did her eyebrows. I'm using this silicone shaper from Jumia. Remember guys, you can use my code of the month of November, which is KB14 Mitch, shameless plug, to get your discount of up to 1000 bob. And then now I'm going in with the Divas Cosmetics eyebrow pencil, and I'm just using that to shape and fill in her eyebrows. She does have pretty much filled in eyebrows, and she had already tweezed, so it was pretty much just easy to fill in. So I'm just doing that on both sides before I go in with my concealer. Okay, story come. So the year was 2012. I had just finished my high school. That will tell you how young or how old you think I am. So I just finished my high school. I was around 16 years old because I finished early. And what was tradition in our school was, if you were a prefect, then on the night after you guys finishing the KCSE, you would go and have a dinner with the principal and I think some of the teachers at like a restaurant, just to celebrate the end of, like, you know, your 4 years. And I was really excited about it. So immediately after our exams the previous night, I went to my sister's house in Kino because obviously freedom. I didn't want to go to my dad's house in Lafu due to the restrictions. So I went to my sister's house and I was telling them, you know, how excited I was about, you know, the dinner. We were talking about, okay, what are you gonna wear? What are we gonna do about the hair? Like, it was just vibes. So come the next now day, because I had none of my clothes at my sister's house, everything was at my dad's house. So obviously they told me, okay, so you're gonna wear some of my clothes. I was like, okay. So they chose for me this gray, I remember it so distinctly. They chose for me this gray v-neck sweater top. It was like a really nice fit, and then a black bubble skirt. At that time, if you remember, like, bubble skirts were the in thing, they were in season, and anybody who had even a semblance of style had a piece in their closet. So they chose that for me, and like this really like shiny, beautiful 6-inch heels, stilettos. Hey guys, I was feeling like a badass. Mimi, even at the time I didn't know how to walk in heels, but I managed, and I looked good. And then that day, now before the dinner, we went to the salon. We did flat iron. It was actually my first time doing flat iron on my hair. I was like, hey, I'm grown, I'm in the land of freedom. Give me some ribbons. Like, I looked good, guys. So at that time we went with my sister. She's the one who took me to school, because obviously I didn't know like the way and things like that. So my sister Val took me to school at that time, and because, you know, she is the baddest of the family, you cannot tell me anything with my sister around. You cannot tell me anything. She will beat you and give you a black eye. You know, you don't talk anyhow to me when my sister is around. So we went to school. Well, everything worked out. We went to the dinner. Everything was so nice. Like, it was just vibes. The food was nice. Just that reminiscing about, you know, how we have, you know, been through it with high school, and then now how the future looked so promising. I remember even I had said, you know, I'm going to Harvard. I had even applied, you know. Wow, guys. Woo. So we came back to school that night. We slept. Everything went well. And in the morning, because what was the plan was, in the morning either your parent or your guardian was supposed to come for you, or if you knew your way home, then obviously you'd go home. So because I had agreed with my sisters, like we had agreed, they had even told me, so you take fare in just in, I was like, what do you mean take fare just in case? You will come for me, and the assurance that you will come for me is I will not even take this fare, so you make sure you come for me. They're like, okay, sawa. So 7 o'clock in the morning, because people start leaving like really, really early. Like, what are you doing in school? You've already finished your 4 years of, labor. You're going to enjoy the world. 7 a.m. people start leaving. 7:30, 8:30. So I think I was actually almost one of the last people to leave. I remember there's one friend of mine called Lynette. I remember her so well. So Lynette asked me, because her mom had come to pick her, and she was like, because we're going those sides for Westlands, would you like a lift? Because your people are washiki simu. Guys are kona shika simu. I think these guys had so much fun the previous night. They were so hungover, they didn't even hear the phone ringing. Audacity on top of audacity. So I was like, okay, sawa. So in my mind, I was like, okay, by the time we get to the drop-off point, they'll probably have already, picked my call. Apologies, rain is in the background. They'll have already picked my call. So we got there, and I think it was like 5 or 10 minutes. Like, that drive was so quick, I couldn't even believe we had already gotten there. So she was like, okay, so we'll see you. I'm like, okay, it is the time for me to shuka, because I had already started getting nervous, because here I am very early in the morning with my very, very short skirt, and I don't even know the way home. Guys, because it was, I think, my first time going to my sister's place after she moved there. I alighted because I did not have an option, and then I started walking. So the first man that I met was actually, like, I don't know if he was like a madman, but he didn't seem like he was okay. So he said, vibing me, oh mrembo, oh naka smart, blah blah blah. And I was like, sir, respect yourself and respect me as well, okay? I am not about that life, okay? I'm just a high schooler. So we walked a bit with him, and then after a while, I think he saw that I wasn't interested, so he left me. So there was 2 ways. So I could either go and use the road on top where the cars were, but because it was so early in the morning, I really didn't want to like use that road. So I decided to go down and use like the marketplace, because I could see matatus uko mbele. So to get to those matatus, you have to pass through a market. Did I even think about any repercussions? Absolutely not. So I went there with my heels, with my Ray-Bans, with my short skirt. And at the time, because the skirt was pretty short, but it wasn't like so short, but because even at the time there was bones, there was derriere, there was bedunk. At the back, it had risen up so much, it looked, like the way when you wear a skirt, in the front it looks like longer, and then at the back it looks like, where is the rest of the material? That was me at the time. Yes. So I start walking, and even as I'm walking, I'm really struggling, because the floor of the market, has like vegetables, cabbages, like skumas, like just things. It wasn't like smooth. And then I start to feel like there's some tension in the air. Have you ever like tangibly felt that tension? But you know what? I am not even focused on that. I am just minding my business and making my way to the matatu, because I am about to go and give my sisters the lecture of their lives for what they did to me. So after walking like a few paces, I hear, Malaya! I'm like, what? Oh, Malaya, surely. Which audacity does she have to start walking in the market? Seta jifiche. And then I had, unatubia mabwana, unataka kutubia mabwana. Translating to Malaya is prostitute, because I know I have some non-Swahili speaking subscribers. And then you want to steal our husbands. So me, I'm just like, wait, it's about to go down over here. Let me just leave, because these guys look really angry with this Malaya. Unbeknownst to me, that they were actually referring to me. Oh my gosh. Me, there I am, 16 years old, but I think the outfit like really made me look much older. And then the fact that I was getting there in the morning and I was walking, I think they assumed that I was from work. If you know, you know. So the women proceeded to start throwing vegetables and fruits at me. And then these guys, let me tell you, they had audacity. They didn't even throw the fresh ones at me. They were throwing the rotten ones. So I had rotten avocado, rotten tomato, the ones that I usually smell. Like, they're just throwing rotten things at me. And I was so confused. I was like, what is not happening? So in the middle of that confusion, I'm sweating. I'm even sliding in my heels because I'm trying to walk, but I'm sliding. Have you ever walked like you're like your galley creeping and you're walking in heels just because of all the things that they're throwing at me? Guys, I was smelling. I was green, blue, red, and yellow, and it was just bad. On top of that, there was this other lady. She came and then she lifted my skirt all the way up to my waist, so you could see my underwear. Wah, 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 wah. At that time, I'm like, wait, it's gotten really, really bad because I'm panicking. I'm just like, I was almost crying. Like, have you ever just been like literally confused? Like, what is not happening? How did I end up in this situation? And where are my sisters right now? That was all that I was thinking. So these guys, they're just continuing to throw things at me. And then I realized that now the vibe had shifted from just throw things at her to now wanataka sasa kunistrip, to embarrass me, and to teach me a lesson that how can you try and steal our husbands. Oh my gosh. I think in the middle of that, I was still trying to make my way because, when people are throwing things at you, like you want to get away. So I was trying to move away from the market. But then in the middle of that, there are people in front of me. People are like harassing me, throwing things at me. It was crazy. So the one person who came to help, and that's why I usually say, do not ever allow anybody in this life. There was another matatu conductor, a tout, who in the middle of all the confusion, he came back and then he told the ladies, wachanini na yeye, leave her alone, wachanini na yeye. So he came, put his arm around me, and usually I'm very into my personal space, but at that time I was like, anybody who even tries to look like they want to help me, I will cling on to them for dear life. Kama tunachapwa na tunagongwa na avocado zimeozwa, tugongwe pamoja. I shall not be in this fight alone. Guys, he took me and he literally led me into the matatu and akanieka hapo mbele next to the driver. So I'm in the matatu, I'm crying, I'm like, can you imagine? Oh mama, unanitupia avocado zimeoza na ma. And then you think even the driver and the lady who was sitting next to him, you think they had compassion for me? Which compassion? That lady, I even remember she was holding a child. She asked me, na wewe mbona unavaa hivyo? Like, when you were you wearing like that if you don't want that kind of treatment from the people? And I was just shocked. I was like, what? And then it was at this time that my sister decided to now pick the phone. She's now calling me ati, and then she's calling me so drowsily ati, hello, sasa uko? And I'm like, I was sobbing, I was crying, I was like, Val, wananitopea mavitu, wanataka kunitoa nguo. I was hysterical, you guys. Thank God I ended up home in one piece, but it really taught me a lesson. So yeah, that's the story of how I was almost stripped naked in this Nairobi. Thanks to my sisters. Thanks guys, if you're watching this, thanks so much. So I hope you guys enjoyed this story time and makeup tutorial. If you have any questions for me about the makeup, just let me know down in the comment section and I'll be sure to answer. And until next time guys, bye.